debate.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to welcome the students to this honorable chamber, this august chamber that has leaders elected from all over the country for them to observe the proceedings of this house. I want to urge them and ask them to work very hard in school and to aspire to be leaders and to aspire to one day step in this chamber as leaders, not as students. And I want to wish them all the best in their studies and let them enjoy their time in school, do their best, and come out as great leaders, just like they are in this house. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I want to make my contribution to supporting and promoting local fertilizer manufacturing industry. But before I do that, I want to tell the Honorable Amisi, the member from one of the Trans Nzoia constituencies, Amisi, you know, he's still held up in the 19th century politics of Marxism, of, mercantilism, and, that almost 18th, 19th century stuff. I see a lot of his writings on Twitter and all that, but I see his mind is actually fixated there. And I want to tell him that did not help the world. Russia collapsed. Yugoslavia collapsed because of these same principles that he's trying to say Kenya must adopt to move forward in development. We are in a new era of thinking and ideologies in this world. Capitalism has still remained as the principal anchor of development in the world. Capitalism still is the anchor for money making in the world and to equalize nations. Socialism and Marxism and all those kind of things that were there, and fascism that were there during the 18th, 19th century have been bypassed and nations have collapsed. This country, Amisi, will move on a trajectory of developmental issues that are anchored properly in agriculture. The agrarian revolution still persists. We must invest in agriculture.
The Honorable Amisi, you have a point of order? Normally the best would be to put an intervention instead of raising your hand, but I give you the chance.
Yeah, I was struggling to put it, but I think it's now working. Madam Speaker, I think with due respect to my colleague and the leader of this House, is that he has diverted from the motion. The motion was not discussing Amisi's ideology. The motion was discussing fertilizer. I will bring here another motion that will discuss Amisi's ideology, and the honorable member will have enough time to contribute. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Order now. You believe that he is irrelevant?
He is irrelevant and is continuously mentioning my name and attaching some ideologies that I don't follow towards my name. And it's not even, he has not brought a substantive motion to discuss my name.
Before you respond, I keenly followed what the Honorable Baya said. I believe that he was just reacting to what you had said, which is allowed in the House. It's a house of debate. I did not see him being irrelevant, so there is nothing out of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this. This country, Kenya, already has factories that manufacture fertilizer, and that is a fact. If you look at what we have in the country, the question that we have is the fertilizer being manufactured in this country enough? It is not enough. So how do we fill in the gap? We can only fill in the gap if we get other investors to come and invest in the country to have more fertilizer plants, to manufacture more fertilizer, so that our farmers can have enough fertilizer for their farms. On the upshot of that, Honorable Speaker, if we have more fertilizer manufactured in the country, we reduce our foreign exchange, the use of our foreign exchange to import fertilizer. Importation has been one of the problems that has caused us the imbalance of trade between this country and other countries. We continue to import even things that we must not import. What I want to see is more investors, and I want to ask the people of Trans Nzoia to demand from their MP that he invites more investors in Trans Nzoia to set up fertilizer manufacturing plants there so that the farmers can get cheaper fertilizer. Honorable Speaker, regions that would have given us very big output
Majority Whip, you seem to be attracting a lot of points of order. You have another point of order from the member for Funyula.
Save my time.
Chair, Honorable Speaker, I think my good friend is just going on, is just diverting the attention. Honestly speaking, it's not the business. It cannot be the sole business of Honorable Amisi to go scouting for investors to come and invest in Trans Nzoia in a fertilizer manufacturing plant. It's on record that the current president has globetrotted this world for the last 3 to 4 years, and yet nothing, even a single fertilizer factory has been set up. I think just restrict yourself to the debate.
What exactly is out of order?
I know it's
political
out of order to incite the members of public against Honorable Amisi for no apparent reason.
You have made your point. As far as I'm concerned, Honorable Baya, just try to focus to the subject matter, because now I'm forced to also defend the Honorable Amisi. And also, in the interest of time, I see about 6 people would like to speak. Honorable members, we did not agree on reducing time, so you still have 10 minutes. But if all of you would like to speak, you may choose to speak for 4 to 5 minutes, so that most of you can be covered.
I'll restrict myself to 5 minutes, Honorable Speaker, so that I can save time. But I also want to say this, Honorable Speaker. You see, investors coming into this country to invest, one, they bring in foreign direct investment into the country. Foreign direct investment helps this country to grow its GDP. Again, when investments are made here, productivity goes up. When the productivity of the country goes up, then, of course, we become a more food-secure country. And I want to urge leaders, even as they point out mistakes of this ministry is not doing this is not doing this, also to look at it as they're also leaders. When you say you must start at the top for many things, you are at the top in the county. There's somebody at the top of the county. There's somebody at the top of the constituency. It takes all of us to hold hands together to ensure that we move this country forward. And a leader at the top uses others to influence change. Change cannot be influenced if other leaders are not joining hands to try to influence. We must bring change in the area of manufacture of fertilizer in this country. We must bring change in the areas of agriculture in this country to ensure we are food secure as a country. And this motion by the Honorable Samatande is at its best place that we discuss it at this time when the rains are here. The rains are here, farmers are looking for fertilizer, but the scarcity of fertilizer, not that there is not enough, there is enough, there is fertilizer in the country. Not enough, of course. But we can do better as a country when we ensure that we have more investors coming in to invest in the area of fertilizer. Seeds, for example, Honorable Speaker, my constituency and where I come from, everybody's saying, we want seeds. We want planting material. We want things that can help us grow food. The people in this country are not lazy. They are industrious people who know if they grow food, they'll become food secure, they'll become food sufficient, and poverty will leave their homes. But then, what as leaders are we doing to ensure that we give them planting materials to ensure that we have more food? So I want to support you, my brother, Samatandi, for the good thoughts, because this is thinking good for a country. This is good thoughts for a country, that we actually must manufacture more fertilizer in the country, Honorable Speaker. And we have bumper harvest. The prices of goods come down. Inflation comes down. When inflation comes down, there's less expenditure, and therefore, when we have inflation that is down, there's more savings in the families and more disposable income for families, and therefore they are able to pay school fees for their children and do development for themselves. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge everybody that is able to ensure that we have this, even members of parliament here. There are other members of parliament like Samatandi who has enough disposable income to set up a small fertilizer factory in his village. The Millie here, I know she can set up another small factory for fertilizer, make some money out of it, but also help the farmers. Professor Undo there, he's a good professor, he's worked for many years, he has enough money to invest into a small fertilizer, and even Gelechei. If everybody goes the cottage industry way and sets up a small fertilizer factory in their constituency, we'll bring down the cost of food production. And even the Honorable Speaker, I know the people of Mutomo want a small fertilizer factory, and you have some money, set up a small fertilizer factory there so that you can bring down. I can see Millie smiling because she's thinking about setting one tomorrow because she has one. But if everybody does that, if everybody invests in agriculture, we make this country a better country, making it food sufficient, and agricultural produce actually transit to manufacturing. Because if you have if you have enough milk, you can set up a small milk production center. And when we have industries being set and manufacturing being set, we solve the problem of joblessness and we solve the problem of poverty in this country. And therefore, I want to urge anybody who has money somewhere, instead of going to do other things, set up factories for fertilizer, for better seeds, and better planting materials so that we increase our output in agriculture in this country, and that way we make Kenya a better country. I thank you, and I want to support my brother Samatani on this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I would like to give a chance to the member for Turkana North. I'm very sorry, I didn't know that you're in the House. The Honorable Ekon Naibun.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance to put my voice on this motion by Honorable Atandi. Madam Speaker, growing up in the northern Kenya, those early years when we were in school, we were being told this country, agriculture is the backbone of the economy. That narrative has continued to date. Madam Speaker, it's surprising that we are told manufacturing is focus of subsequent governments for a while now. But when you look at what the government is doing to set up manufacturing institutions, whether it is medicine, whether it is fertilizer, much is not being done. Now,